Welcome back again, my fellow developers. So after creating the product schema and everything related to it, what's needed for the product to work, now it's time to actually go to the front end. So we need to go back to our pages. So inside the app and then dashboard, and then we're going to go to seller. Then inside stores, then our store URL here, the dynamic routes, we have the settings page. I want to create a new page, and this one is going to be for products. And inside of this one, I'm going to create a page. This one is going to be for the products page, where we're going to have the table that is going to display our products. So I'm going to go RFC right here, and I'm going to call this seller and then products page. So products page like this. Let me remove the imports from here. And after that, inside products, you can have a new folder, which is going to be new. And in this one, we're going to use it to create our products here. So I'm going to have the page here. So page.csx here, and then RFC. And this one is seller and the new products page. And then let me remove the imports from here. And inside of here, we need to have the form. Okay, with the form, we already created some sort of form, some sort of base. So we already have it, and then it's going to be probably one of the longest components we will create, including the sub component that exists in there. So just buckle up and bear with me. This is going to be quite long. But the first thing you got to understand is we need two things for these components. First of all, we need to always have the store URL with us, because we're going to use that to add the product. So when we create the product, we need to attach it to a store. So we need that store URL. I can't have the store ID directly here, because all I have is the store URL that exists in the dynamic process here. So I need to get that, because I need it, because I need to tell the product, here is the store URL, and I'm going to get from that, I'm going to get the ID, and I'm going to attach my product to that store. That is the first thing I'm going to need that. So because we are in Next.js and we are in a server page right here, we can actually access the params directly. So for the params here, which is define them. So for the params, we're going to have the store URL here, and this one is going to be a string like this. So now we have access to the store URL. It's not the store ID, but at least from here, because it's unique value, we're going to be able to get the ID easily. The second thing that this component will need is going to need the categories, because when we create in the product, we need to select the category of that product. So we need to get them. And I'm not going to get the subcategories here, because we need to actually select a category first. So when the user selects a category for the product, then we will get the subcategories that exist inside that product. Okay. And we're not going to need to get these subcategories right here, because we're going to wait till the user selects a category. Then we will use a use effect that will go and fetch the subcategories that exist inside that category parent. Okay. So let me just remove this from here, and let's actually get the categories. We already have the function and everything, so we're gonna go categories equal and then await, and then get all categories. This function or this query already created. This is await, so I need to make this function asynchronous like this. So now that we got the categories, now let's actually add the components. So first of all, I'm gonna add a class name here, the with form. And then inside of here, I need to actually now create the form. So I'm going to go back to my components, then dashboard, then forms. I'm going to take the store details one. I'm going to copy paste it. I'm going to change this to product details. So change it to products and then details like this, and then enter. And then I'm going to go and change the name from store details to product details. Okay. And then save and replace. Oh, sorry. So for this one, of course, the data is not going to be stored. We're going to change that, but we're not going to do that right now. Let's go one by one so you can understand exactly how this is going to go. Then I will show you, because there is something very tricky right here. And let me explain. So when you try to create the product first time, and let's say I have these three variants and I want to create the product first time. Well, at first time, I will be able to add the informations of the products, the global informations. What I mean by that, if I go back to my schema here, the global informations are the name of the product, the description of the products, and then the brand, okay? And then selecting the category and then selecting the subcategory. This is the first time you create a product, they will ask you that. Then what's going to happen later is that in the same time you create a new product, you will be able also to create one variant. Okay, so you create the global informations, then you will add the information to the products. So first time I'm gonna add the name, the description of the product. Then for example, I will create this one, and I will create this products right here with the images, the sizes, the colors, etc. This is how you do it. Then the second time, what you can do is add a variant to an existing product with an existing variant. Okay, so I have already these products and I have these variants. I can go there and I will tell them I will add another product, which is this one, to that, okay? Because at the end of the day, all gonna belong to the same parent product, but they all are also their individual products, because this one is an individual product, this is individual, and they are grouped and exist inside this product. This is how you understand it. Of course, if it's confusing by talking, it could be, but when we actually work on it, it will make sense. The last thing that I would say before continuing is that these product details will be used to create and also update. So when we try to update, we'll be able to update one individual, okay? So we'll be able to update, for example, this black jacket individually or this purple individually. If I want to update another one, I will just go to the global product, select the variant I want to update, and it will redirect me to this form exactly, but with the variant I want to update, and I will be able to update. It might sound confusing, but it's so easy, as we will go through it and you will understand. So we have the product details, we have done that. That is cool. And now we need to change few informations right here, okay? But the first thing I want to actually do is, as we do always, updating the first thing, which is the schema, okay? Because that's the most important part for us right now. So I'm just gonna go. So we have the product details props. We're gonna keep it this way. We're gonna also have categories first. So let's add that. This is an array of category. So let's add the arrays there. And then also we're gonna pass, as I told you before in the new, need to pass the store URL right here. So this one here, and this one is gonna be a string like this. So this is it, and then we can extract them from here. So we're gonna get the categories and also gonna get the store URL. And then after that, all we need to do now is in the form, we need to update from the store for schema, from form schema to the product form schema. So I'm just gonna replace also, so product form schema like this, updates here. And then simply, if you go right here, we don't have it, so we need to create it. So let me close everything. And this one is gonna be the product schema. So we need to create that. Well, we actually know how to create them, so I'm gonna copy it and just paste it right here and explain to you, as this is gonna take so long doing the same things we have explained before. So let me just go. It's a bit of a long one, so just bear with me. So the first thing, we need the name. So, and then we have the verification, you know, the minimum length, the maximum length. And then also we add regex right here to prevent from adding special characters inside the name of the product. The name of the product only can have, you know, letters, numbers, and then we can have like spaces and then hyphens and underscores, okay? And then also this the same thing, we can't have consecutive special characters. So even in the name, I added validation that I can't have in the name of the product. So like, for example, dashes or like 2 underscores right here, we can't allow that, okay? That's good for the name of the products. We just got to make sure everything is right. For the description, the same. Then we will ask for the variant name and the variant description, because as I told you, when we create a product, we will actually create a variant with it, okay? And then we need to add the images. So the images is just an array of objects, the same as before, URL z string. We're going to make sure that the product at least have 3 images, and then also maximum of 6 images. And then we need to provide the category ID, also the subcategory ID. And then for the ESL, we don't have to actually add this, but if we make sure this product is on sale, just if not, if by default, it's going to be false. Okay, so this one is like featured, it's going to be easy. Then for the brand, it's just a simple string. Also for the SKU, just a simple string, just defining the minimum, maximum. And then when it comes to keywords, so as keyword is going to be an array of strings, which is can have at least 5 keywords and maximum of maximum of 10 keywords. So we're going to have an array of strings. So as a string right here, but it's going to be an array with minimum 5 and maximum 10, even though that in the schema right here. So as you can see right here, we had it as a only string. Let me go back to the product variant. So for the keywords right here, what is it? It's as a string, but don't worry, we're going to convert that array of strings to one string. So for example, let's say I have an array of string like this. Let me just give you an example. Like I have blue and I have another keyword which says jacket. This is going to be converted this way. So it's going to be one string and this time blue and then jacket like this. So this is how it's going to be stored in the actual database. And then when we send it back again to the user, we're going to send it this way. And then when we send it to form, we convert it now to an array of strings. Okay, so yeah, it's very simple. and then we just continue. Now we have also colors. Just the color simply is going to be an array of an object that has the property color, or you can call it name, just simply going to be the color. And then we're going to make sure that all the colors are filled. So we're going to use the refine method right here, which is going to allow us to access all the colors value right here, all the value of the array, and then we can map through it and going to make sure that the color is filled, okay, for every single input, because we cannot have an input for a color and it's empty. Also for the sizes, as I told you, it's going to have the size, it's going to have the quantity, and it's going to have a price, and it's also going to have a discount. The quantity must be at least once, or we don't need to actually add the product because it should be at least one in the stock. And then for the price, at least the minimum, as you see right here, is going to be 0.01. Or actually we can just have it as one, but there are some products who are less than $1, so we can give them the option to start from 0.01. okay. And then for the discount, it's going to be minimum 0. Of course the discount can be 0, and by default it's going to be 0. And this is for the sizes. It's going to be an array of sizes, as I told you, because each product can have different sizes. So it's going to be an array that has 2 objects, for example, as this a blue jacket. Just explaining. And then we're going to have refine. This is the same thing. We're just going to go through the sizes, make sure that all the values are provided for the right here, the price and then quantity and size, because we cannot create, for example, this blue jacket without specifying like one of the properties right here, except the discount. The discount, if not provided, is going to be 0, but we can't not provide the price. We have to make sure that the size, the price, and also the quantity is provided. So yeah, this is it for the schema. So we can actually take that and replace it. We already done that. So now it's going to ask us to fill the informations depending on the schema we have. So now we have to go and start by the default values. So we have name, we have description. And then after that, what we're going to have the variant name. You can just put on the schema right here and just follow it. So we're going to have variant name. Okay. And then also we're going to have the variant description. So let's go and add it right here. Well, let me add it just here. And then after that, what we have here, we have images. Okay, so let's add images. So for the images, so I'm just gonna go and add this as images. Let me remove this from here and from here. So I don't know what happened, but just my keyboard decided to remove everything and it didn't ask it for that. So let me just remove this and let's continue. So for the images, it's going to be data.images, and the images right here is going to be array by default. Okay, so if not, just going to be an empty array. Okay, so data.images, not data.images, we're actually data.images and data. Okay, so the problem that we're going to have right now is that the data that we're going to get, this is the default values if we have data. And right here, the type of the data here we have as a store. We can't have that because the type right here, it should be the type of the product, but also including the variant, because we have like name, description, variant name, variant description. So we have to create a type for this one. Okay, so for this one, we can call it product with variant type. Okay, variant and then type like this. So make sure that I'm doing this right. So product with a variant type right here. But this one that we're going to have, we're going to do it manually. So we're going to create the type manually. I'm going to go inside types. Do I have any types here? Well, I don't. So I'm going to go back to my library and then my types right here. And this one is going to be the product and then plus the variants. Okay, and it's gonna have some informations inside the variants, but we gotta make sure this is how the form is gonna be. We're gonna go export and then type, and we have to specify it. First of all, we're gonna have the name, which is a string. Okay, and then after that, we're gonna have the description, which is also a string. I'm gonna copy the easy ones. So we're gonna have name and description as a string. We're also gonna have the variant name and variant description as a string. Then after that, we're going to have the images, which is going to be an array of, let me just copy it again, sorry. So this one is going to be images, and it's going to be an array of this object, which is URL string. Very simple. We're going to have the category ID and the subcategory ID, also going to be strings. And then the SL property is going to be Boolean. Okay, by default it's false, but we have to specify is it going to be what's going to be. It's going to be a Boolean. Then after that, the brand of the product is going to be a string. Then the SKU is going to be a string. Then for the colors, it's going to be an array of objects color that type of a string. We gotta go by the schema we have. So as you can see right here, what is it? So I have colors. As you can see, the object is going to be color, which is type string. You can change it to name if you want to, or leave it as color. but totally fine for me. Then for the size, it's going to be an array of objects. Which objects? We have the size, which is a string, the quantity, the price, and discount are the 3 R numbers. Okay, very simple to understand. Then we're going to have keywords. What did I tell you? It's going to be an array of strings. If you go back right here and check the keywords, right here you can see it's a string, but it's an array of strings. So we continue with the types. So after the keywords, we're going to have 2 last things, which is the created ads and updated ads. So when you do that, we just got to go back and actually tell this, well, this is the type. So now stop asking me stupid problems. Okay, so now let's go back. Now let's continue. So we have images. Let me just check what I have to add right now. So we have the category also and the subcategory. So I'm just gonna copy them. It's the same thing, just data.category ID, subcategory ID. Then after that, we're gonna have the brand. So we need to add the brand there. From the data, we have the SKU. Now there is no issues as we define the type. Also for the colors, okay, at least we're gonna provide one color. So if the data.colors is there, that's cool. If not, we're gonna add one array with an empty color property for an object, okay? Because by default, we wanna have an input there that is empty for a color. And so when you try to create a product, by default, you will have this input there that says add the color, okay? That's why we added this one right here alone and not empty. And not empty because we will have by default to add one color, and you will see later. So for the sizes, just simply the sizes that we have, and then for the keywords, it's the same data.keyword and isCell. So this is the last property right here. It's going to be data.isCell. So let's continue. Let's go down now for the form reset. This is just boring, so I'm going to take this and just paste this. So this is simply what it is, just right here. Then the data.name, data description, variant name, variant description. This is, we're just gonna remove this. It's not mandatory. It was for my other example, but for now it's not mandatory. This is the same for here. For keywords, if it doesn't exist right here, because it's gonna come as a string. If it's not there, we're just simply changing it to an array. But I feel like if you even went right now and add data, it probably would work. Yeah, because it is the same type. So even doing it data this way would work, doing it this way will also work. Let's not do it with data. But the issue here, when we get the data, actually it's not going to be a problem, because when we send the keywords back, it's going to be in form of an array. And I'm going to make sure that when I send the data to this component, always is going to be an array. So we can even make this so much easy by just adding data right here, because it's going to stay the same type. That's cool. So for the handle submit, here's gonna close this right now. Here we're gonna come to just type it right now. This is gonna be very boring, so I'm just gonna go right here. This one is gonna be for products information, update, and then products information. We're gonna keep the same name because it is. And then for the data.id right here, okay. So right here, when you have the data here, let me just go back to the type. I want to add 2 other things because I feel like I didn't add them, and they are very also important. That we're gonna have all these properties right here, but we need to also make sure that I always have the product ID and also the variant ID with me, because these 2 are very important to have. So I'm just gonna add 2 other properties. So for this one is gonna be product ID, and this one is gonna be variant ID as a string. Now when we do that, okay, it's still working. Yeah, I have no issues with this one. All right, that's cool. So right here, we're gonna check if you have the product ID and also, okay, depending. If I'm trying to update, I need to have them both. Okay, so I need to have both of them. So variant also ID. So not the variant ID data, those variant ID like this. So when I have them both, simply I can just add updates. If not, let's create a product. And you can edit products. You can edit products later from the products page. Products page right there. And then simply in the next video, we will start actually filling the inputs that we will need, or the form fields. So yeah, that's it for this video. We have done something at least. We created the schema, we've changed some data, and let's go and continue with the rest in the next video.